people seem to have enjoyed the new format over here. I kind of did, but I, like a big old yutz, I screwed it up and put the wrong team that the film was on. I had the Lions instead of the Bears. What a yutz. Anyway, this time I'm going to have the right title at the top. I like the format. You guys seem to enjoy it, so I'm going to stick with it. So I appreciate all the feedback, especially the brother who told me, dude, it's the Bears. I'm like, what? Thanks. So I'm going to get into the defense today. Defense. I've been focusing on the offensive line and the offense for like 2 years now. And it's really been paramount because the defense kind of was something we all could agree on. It was pretty obvious, I think, except for little elements here and there. It was the offense, the offensive line that really, for me, was the foundational piece and a lot of questions, so I've been focusing on it. But this week, given what we're seeing on the offense and given the Cleveland Browns are coming to town with the top 5 run game, it's time to go hard and heavy on the defense, which I like. I really enjoy doing defensive studies, but, man, this offensive line and offense has been bad for a couple of years now, real bad. So you guys make the channel go, and I love conversing with you. I'm trying to get to the comments, just feeling like pretty old the last week or two, just tired. Need more Geritol, I guess. So thank you all for stopping by. I just want to give a shout out to Ace Bread, my sponsor as well, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so there was a comment that came out. You can see here. Mike McDaniel says, regarding Byron Jones, there are a lot of variables at work, and he knows he wants to contribute to the team. A return to the team is still open. Now, on the face of it, it seems like, oh, I got it. But it just seems like a weird comment. A return to the team is still open. And he knows he wants to contribute. And there's a lot of variables at work. What variables are there? There's either he's healthy or he's not healthy. What are these variables? So to me, there's a little bit of weirdness going on here. Maybe not. It seems weird on a few levels. Now, the primary one, I would say, is how did Chris Greer, the staff, McDaniel, not realize Byron Jones was going to take this long to get back? I mean, they should have been pretty well aware of the fact that it was going to take this long. And why didn't they do anything to cover the situation? Now, they might have a long-term goal in mind, like say, oh, well, we don't want to invest big in a stopgap because we want to, get the guy we want long-term. So I can kind of understand that. But still, it seems like this is a critical season. You've created this window for effect of this year, next year, and possibly the year after that before you're going to, have to start really retooling the team. Why was Byron Jones not diagnosed as taking this long? Is it Byron Jones on the other part? Is it Byron Jones is dragging his feet because he's rehabbing on a slow pace and doesn't want to come back? A return is still open, and he knows he wants to contribute to the team. I don't know. It seems weird to me. This whole thing seems very, very weird, So we need him in a big way. Now, Kohou, somebody, I got to write these things down too. A good comment in the last podcast, the one that now has the right title on it, said Kohou was a massive hit because with Needham down, X injured, and Byron out, he saved our season. And in truth, it's absolutely accurate. We would be Swiss cheese hit with the sawed-off shotgun with 12-gauge buckshot if it wasn't for Kohou. Kohou should be one of the most beloved Dolphins on the team this year for what he's able to do and how he does it in such a crucial need. I'm going to give this brother a shout-out next time I do it because it was such a good comment. And it's so true. Kohou is filling probably the biggest gap on his team in a big way, and we would be, well, in technical terms, screwed without him. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. Maybe he comes back after the bye week. I don't know. It just seems a little fishy. Then this Joe Shad put this one out about Ogbah. According to Pro Football Reference, Emmanuel Ogbah had 9 sacks, 9 tackle for losses, 24 QB hits, 15 hurries, 39 pressures last year, and 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 7 QB hits, and 3 hurries and 8 pressures this season. And if you look at the snaps, he's not getting as many snaps, but only by maybe 10% less. If you build it out to a whole year, maybe even the same. He had one game where he had like 58 snaps, and he's been kind of, allergies, gone into a more part-time role. But clearly, his production is reduced. And to me, it screams of this injured bad back. Now, some people were saying early on he got paid and he kind of is just dozing on the situation. But when I watch him play, I see him pop and then I see him fade. And it really looks like, to me, the back plays a major role. But another aspect that I don't think people are really taking into account is when we run that zone blitz, the zero, he does a lot of different stuff and he gets a lot of clear runs at the quarterback. He was used a lot more last year in drops. He just seems to be more of a run defender. He doesn't seem to be tooled around the way he was last year. Is it Boyer not doing it? Was Flores able to do it better? Is it the lack of the zero? I don't know. I got to dig into the tape, but I don't think this guy's jaking it at all. Remember, when he was with Kansas City, he was one kind of guy. He was like, all right. We signed him, and people were like, wow, that's a lot of money we signed him for. And all of a sudden, I was like, boom, whoa, this is a great signing. This guy's great. And then all of a sudden, boom, he sucks again. I think there's got to be serious mitigating factors. I want to hear what you guys think. I don't have an absolute 100% foot in the ground opinion on this because I got to study the tape. But from what I've seen and what I've watched, I don't see a guy jaking it. I don't know. I got to look more. Anyway, I thought that was a big deal. So, now, I want to add in just a quick little thing. I'm not going to put a chapter on this. For some information I did last podcast, I did some film on Shell and Jones. Now, Shell gave up 3 hurries. That was the most hurries that allowed last game. And then tied with him was Jones with 2 hits and 1 hurry. The two of them allowed 6 pressures, and I think there was maybe 8 or 7 on the day. And I like both these guys a ton. I don't necessarily, again, like them, well, for Jones as a starter in the zone stretch, but he is clearly our best backup. And in some ways, he's better than Eichenberg because he doesn't get bullied with his strength. But I was talking to somebody in the comments. Again, I should write this thing down. I do, if it was me, if I am a defensive coordinator, I see ways to attack him. Now, you're going to need certain talent to do it. I'm not going to get into the whole deal, but he has flaws, and I believe that they can be accentuated when it comes to certain fronts that we're going to see, certain talents, and certain defensive coordinators. And as far as Shell goes, he is playing right tackle really well. But you guys also have to understand something, because you'll say, well, he was better than Jesse Davis. Well, he probably is better than Jesse Davis. And you say, well, probably. Just understand how marooned Davis was last day. He had a bum knee from preseason. They put him on the edge, let him block alone all the time, and had their first and second and third round picks helping each other on one guy and protected them all day. And Davis was left alone on the blind side with a bum knee. Shell, I had some film and I scrapped it a couple of weeks ago. I should try to maybe find it. McDaniel does a great job so many times of creating protection in many, many ways. There was one beautiful one where I forgot, it was a tight end or fullback. I think it was tight end or fullback coming down the line of scrimmage on the snap of the ball, and the DE was playing wide on Shell, and Shell was beaten like a drum. But the tight end fullback came with just the last second to pick it up, and the play got off. McDaniel understood. It could have been luck, but I've seen things like that multiple times. And again, when you have Tehran, my man Tehran, creating that ability to send help to where you think it's coming and where you need it most, given on the time of the play where it's running, and the opponents you're going against, it offers so much. And Shell has been helped a ton. And it doesn't negate his play because he has been doing good stuff for us, and we would be really bad with Little in there. You know, it would have been a big problem. He's double the guy of Little. So just wanted to get into that quick. Now, Phillips, Chubb, and Tindall, and Ingram, I'm going to do a little 1-1 play on him. I'm going to do a bunch of plays right here. So I'm going to do some film study. Now, Phillips, 5 pressures, 1 hit, 4 hurries. Chubb, 2 pressures and 2 hurries. That was the day. A couple of tackles. Nothing ultimately impactful, but also you have to add in there, Phillips got a holding call on him. And, you know, people say they hold him all day. They don't hold him all day. But there's a few holding calls that aren't called on him per game that you could get. But I also want to let people know, because I study the offensive line intensely, it happens on both sides of the ball. It's really bad. It's so inconsistent, this holding situation. But Phillips did have those 5 pressures plus the 1 holding call. And that is a big deal. He had a very good day, guys. Now, he had issues, you'll see, dealing with Fields on the move. But Fields is special. He's a different kind of guy. And I just think that Phillips was caught off guard, much like the entire Dolphins defense. So let's take a look at the tape and see what we see. All right, let's open up with Phillips inside and showing some power. This is against a guard, man. He's a pretty big guy. Pretty decent, actually. A little hand to the face there, but look at him use the one arm, throw him away, but then he just can't grasp. Little hands to the face there, but, you know, no one's paying attention. But he just can't grab Fields. And then you can see here, Tindall, close-up, pops, a little skip, and he moves fast for a big guy, but just not fast enough. Fields is just special speed. You know, it's a different kind of speed, guys. I think you got to put a caveat with everything revolved around him. And here's another play. But look at him. He comes out like a shot. He's like a shot out of a cannon, but he still can't catch Fields, who's just moves so fast. Look at him just blow past everybody. He really was hustling, but just couldn't handle him. Couldn't catch up to him. And this is the one where Phillips, you know, allows a touchdown, but taking a poor angle, going for the running back. And you can see when he comes in here, it's too tight of an angle. He's trying to get down the line of scrimmage to get the running back. He's not respecting field speed, and then that's very correctable, though. That's very, very correctable. It's a great lesson. Then here he is inside again. Look at that speed, fighting past the center, and he gets his hand up against another pressure, another near big play by Phillips. Again on the outside, inside, working at the tackle. I like this. It's a little longer play, but he fights his way, and this is the hold. So that was a real nice play there. Then watch him here on the edge. Now, that receiver's got the jump on him, and he runs him down. Right here, most guys would have been left in the dust, and he managed to wrap him up. It was real nice. Again, on the outside with the stunt, comes inside, almost gets the big play, and that would have been a big pass. But look at that speed, just whips right past the guard, and almost there, almost. But that would have been a big play if it wasn't for Phillips. Again, on the outside here, you see he just takes too hard of an angle, doesn't respect Fields. You know, sometimes real fast people think they're the fastest. Guess a big lesson for him. All right, here's Chubb on the outside. You can see the arrow. And he just works on the tackle with speed and power and just drives him back. Almost gets the sack. You know, he restricts the throw of Fields, which is a big help, but it wasn't a sack, but it was almost there. Now, again, on this one, he takes the inside angle, but he's got 2 backers to his left. He had contained. He blew it there. That was just a mental, bad mental rep, easily fixed. But it turns into a big run and a first down by the tight end. But you can see the speed. This guy's 275, and he's chasing down the running back. And that shows what kind of athlete this guy is. On the outside here, again, you see he doesn't respect Fields, much like Phillips. Just gets caught up, doesn't see the handoff, allows outside contain. This is why I say there's got to be a big caveat here. Again, the pressure inside doesn't restrict the pass, but he was getting close. Outside pressure again on this one, the little rip, the dip. You can see it again here. It was a nice move, the rip, cuts the angle short, gets the arm on the shoulder pad, but it can't finish it. And this is another one where Fields just breaks it to the edge and gets a big run. And again, this is why I put rabbit ears on this defense. And I just want to show Ingram here. Old man making a big play. Love that. Come on, old man. All right, so it's an early look at Phillips and Chubb. But Fields totally alters their effect because they can't really attack. They got to come in understanding that we've got to contain. We have to. And I believe I put in a film, there was the one where Phillips went all out on the wide, and Fields just took off when he left that contain, and it was a big play. And this week with Brissett, as we all know, is an ultra mobile. Not terrible. It's not doesn't have cement in his feet. But this week, we'll get to see a very good look of them attacking. Now, it's going to be mitigated by the Browns' awesome offensive line. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. This run game with Chubb and one of the top maybe 3 or 4 offensive lines in the game against our front is going to be, I think, very, very critical. Obviously, the passing with Hill and Waddle and such, but we've got to stop them. We've got to not let them get into the game. We've got to maintain a respectable run stop. And if you look at our run defense, it's ranked 19th. But Fields tacked on 180. And if you take that, even if you just give him a 60 or 80-yard day, 100 off, that puts us in just about top 10. And you'll say, well, you could do that with that. Fields just victimized us, and I believe caught us off guard. And it's just, you can't really rate that as what the run defense is because you only see 2 or 3 guys like that a year. Now, true, you'll see Lamar in the playoffs, maybe. But the run defense of what we're looking this week is a typical conventional run defense. And against that run attack, and against that kind of run attack, our run defense has been pretty good. So I want to take a look at Wilkens and Seiler and show you that these guys, I really wish we could keep them together long term. It was such a fun study. They work well together, and they just have a tendency to dominate. So let's take our second trip down film memory lane and see what we see. All right, let's take a look at Seiler and Wilkens. You can see them here. Both them just doing work. Wilkens got the guy yoked up. Seiler splitting it, just fighting his way through to the running back. The two of them just demolished the Bears' offensive line. Again, here you can see Seiler yoking a guy up and running down the line of scrimmage like this guy's a little kid. Look at him. I love that. That was so beautiful. He tackled the guy with his own offensive lineman. I don't know if I've seen that before. Then again, here you can see Wilkens use that speed and power to shoot inside to beat the block. And he's a part of that play. He doesn't make the final tackle. Here's another one with Wilkens and Seiler. Look at Seiler, wide spread legs, holding 2 guys up. And then here Wilkens just sheds this guy. He gets juked here, but he was a big part of that play. And again, you can see on the outside, Wilkens, he's got a lot of hustle. Look at this. Now, if he didn't make that tackle, he makes that tackle. If he misses that, that guy keeps going for another yard or 2. I love the hustle on Wilkens. Now, here's Seiler doing a bad boy move here. Just only allays and 65. Eyes right on the running back and makes that tackle. It was beautiful. Look at him. He knew that play, and he just made it happen with technique and speed. Wilkens had 2 stops. That means that they wrecked the play and stopped the play. Seiler had 3 stops. Between the two of them, they had 5 dead plays the two of them created. And you could see the way they handled those guards at times. Wilkens is able to use the speed to get in there, and sometimes his strength. He's a handful. There's a one missed tackle on a running back. I'm sure he hates that because beyond that, I don't think he had a missed tackle up at like a week or two ago. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, he didn't have a missed tackle. And that might have been his first. Seiler, I love the one where he yokes the guy up and he runs him down the line of scrimmage. These two guys are so special. And certainly this year and next year, we have those two. We have Chubb and we have Phillips. And it's going to be so much fun. These 4 guys coming together. And they will. They're going to. And they're going to do some really good stuff. I don't see how it's not possible. So this week, the trench is going to be critical. I know if we could just attack with Hill and Waddle and do the show and put lots of points, they're probably not going to be able to keep pace with us. But a real easy way to get ahead and be far ahead is for our defense to slow this offense down, limit their points, and let a reasonable 28 or 32 be enough for a blowout. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm going to watch the film on them and try to kind of build a matchup and a scenario out of it. But I really, really like our front, Chubb, Wilkens, and Seiler against that Browns offensive line. Be interesting to see. Let's see how it plays out. I'm excited. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say on this thing. Curtis saying, I hope you enjoyed. Get the right title this time. Catch you next time. Be well. Go Phins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.